Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel, Taz Nuggets. I hope you guys had an awesome week. Things went well for you. You've been shown favor upon your life, and you've just been happy. So today, I'm back with another video entitled, Are You Vulnerable Enough? So, in working on myself, I've been reading my books, still reading the same authors, and now I'm reading about beyond boundaries. So, going beyond after you've been in a relationship and you're trying to rebuild your trust. So, I'm learning a few things. One thing they stated was a lot of times we try to save up ourselves and our vulnerability for the person that we're dating or falling in love with. But they're saying it doesn't start then, it starts now. It starts with your current relationships, with your friends, and with your family. So are you able to just be vulnerable with them? So they were just saying, like, you can't just not be vulnerable and then all of a sudden you have this person and then magically you're just vulnerable. It's like, hey, what about your friends and family now? Why not express yourself now? So in learning that, I'm learning that one, you have to have an awesome support system and people that you actually trust with your feelings, with your emotions. So that's the first thing. So a lot of times we do have friends and family and that type of thing, but it's like, are we close enough to them to express ourselves and be vulnerable? Some people, yes, some people, no. I think sometimes you kind of have to test that out to see who you can be vulnerable with and who you can't be. But when you find those people you can be vulnerable with, then do that. So, for example, people say, "Hey, how you doing?" You just like, "Oh, I'm doing good," or "Hey, how are you feeling today?" "Oh, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling happy today." So, in being vulnerable, that means you have to go deeper, just more than the surface level. "Oh, I'm happy." All right. So, how are you happy? What makes you happy? What kind of feeling? What happened to cause you to be happy? So digging deeper into your emotions and figuring out, like, well, why do I feel this way? And then expressing those things. That's being vulnerable. And sometimes we don't even think of it that way, but it really is just going deeper. And sometimes it's like, hey, well, I'm not feeling it today. Today's just not my day. Okay, well, why is today not your day? Sometimes I think we're not vulnerable because we don't think people will be supportive or whatever, we feel like it would be too silly or anything like that. But I feel like if the people you have in your corner are there and supportive of you, it doesn't matter how quote unquote silly it is. And most of the time it's not silly, it's just your feelings, that they'll still be there to support you. So find some people who you can literally say, right now I'm just not feeling it today. I feel crappy because I've had these thoughts and feelings and emotions about this situation and I'm just confused. I just don't know what to do. That's simple, easy. But sometimes it's not, because again, sometimes we just don't like to expose ourselves and be vulnerable. But I feel like when you can do that with your friends and family, the people that you're close to, then when that person does come along, you're ready, you're prepared. So again, you can't just be like, oh, I'm not going to be vulnerable at all, then jump into being the most vulnerable person ever. So, I mean, you got to start somewhere. So why not start with the relationships you have now? So then when that person does come along, you're ready and you're prepared. So that's part of like preparing yourself, getting yourself ready for that one, that husband, that wife. And so too, I guess, in being vulnerable, like, what do we do after we feel exposed? Or what do we do if we do, expose our feelings to someone and they're kind of like, well, I mean, I don't really understand. So sometimes people won't understand you. Sometimes they just can't understand you. And even if that happens, don't go back, don't withdraw. So don't say, well, they didn't understand me, so then I'm just not going to express myself again. Don't do that to yourself, because at the end of the day, this is about you and that's more hurtful to you than to them. So if someone is not as understanding, that is okay. And then sometimes we just have to explain things to people and they're like, oh, okay, now I get it. I just need a little explanation. and that goes a long way. So that way it's part of you expressing and exposing yourself, and also building a deeper and bigger relationship with that person because now they're understanding of you. So being vulnerable sometimes sucks and we don't want to, but a lot of times that's the best thing we can do, expressing ourselves, being real and raw to other people because we want them to be that way to us. So why can't we be that way to them? So along the week, just try to figure out times where you haven't been vulnerable with someone close to you, and then start practicing those things, practicing being vulnerable and expressing yourself. And again, I've been taking my journal with me every day. And when I feel like I'm having these really tough feelings, I go to my journal and start talking to God. Because, of course, you can always talk to Him. He's always there, He's always understanding. And just express yourself and then ask Him for peace and for comfort. And again, I promise you, He will send it, it will be there. So then you still was able to express your feelings. And then when you have someone else to talk to, just say, hey, I was feeling like A, B, and C earlier and I couldn't get to you, but I was able to express myself, and this is what happened. This is how I felt, and now this is how it is now. So again, during the week, just find ways to be more vulnerable, to express yourself, and to open up. And you just never know what life can bring when you start to open up yourself and quote unquote expose yourself and be vulnerable. So until next week, try not to be too dysfunctional. And again, if you are, just pick yourself up and keep going. Life goes on. There is more life to live. So just pick yourself up and keep going. I'll be skipping a week next week because I'll be out of town, but I'll be back the week after with another video. So I hope you guys enjoy. Remember to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.